Galactic Council Chambers. 50 years after first human contact, the story opens with Ambassador Tom sitting across from the Galactic Council's senior members, Elder Vex, Reptilian, Commander Blue, Crystalline Being, and Trade Minister Gorp, Insectoid. They are discussing humanity's application to join the Council's inner circle, the most prestigious governing body in known space. The aliens are confused. Humans have proven themselves in every test. They've mastered faster-than-light travel, developed clean energy, eliminated poverty on most worlds, and even helped lesser species advance. By all measures, humanity should be celebrating and moving forward. But Elder Vex brings up the disturbing reports. Your species still maintains memorials, still teaches about something called the Holocaust in your schools, still speaks of slavery that ended centuries ago. Why do you cling to these dark memories? Tom tries to explain, but the aliens don't understand. In their cultures, past wrongs are forgotten once resolved. They move on. They adapt. They don't carry generational trauma. Commander Blue shares how his people overcame a great plague by simply not speaking of it anymore. Silence heals, he says. Trade Minister Gorp nods, explaining how her hive mind species processes collective trauma by literally erasing painful memories from their shared consciousness. The meeting ends with the Council expressing concern. How can they trust a species that lives in the past? How can humans lead when they're still wounded by things that happened generations ago? Tom returns to his quarters, staring out at the stars, knowing he has 1 week to make the Council understand. Something that seems impossible to explain. Tom begins his research, diving deep into the histories of Council member species. He discovers something troubling, pattern after pattern of repeated mistakes. The Vexians, Elder Vex's people, have had 7 different genocidal periods in their history, each time targeting the same minority group. But they never speak of it, never memorialize it, and so never learn from it. Commander Blue's crystalline civilization has collapsed and rebuilt itself 12 times due to the same environmental disasters. Each time, they move forward by forgetting the mistakes that led to catastrophe. The insectoid Gorpians have a cycle of resource wars every few centuries, always triggered by the same political miscalculations that their collective amnesia prevents them from recognizing. Tom realizes the pattern extends beyond the Council. Every species in the galaxy that practices moving on and letting go of historical trauma has repeated their worst mistakes. The only variations are in timeline and scale. Meanwhile, he reviews human history and sees something different. Yes, humans remember their darkest moments, the genocides, the slavery, the wars, the oppression. But this remembrance has led to progress. Each generation learns from the last. The mistakes become smaller, less frequent, more quickly corrected. He starts preparing his presentation, but knows that simply showing data won't be enough. These beings have fundamentally different psychology. They see human memorial practices as weakness, not strength. Tom reaches out to Captain Rex, a military historian, and Dr. Lisa, an anthropologist. Together, they begin crafting something unprecedented, a presentation that will show the Council not just what humans remember, but why forgetting would destroy them. The weight of representing his entire species presses down on Tom as he works through the night, knowing that failure here means humanity remains forever on the outside of galactic leadership. The Council chambers are packed. Word has spread that the human ambassador will explain his species' memory obsession. Many are curious. Others are skeptical. Tom begins not with human history, but with Vexian history. He shows Elder Vex a detailed timeline of his peoples. 7 genocidal periods, each separated by exactly 847 Vexian years. The pattern is so precise, it's almost mathematical. Elder Vex is disturbed. How do you know this? These events are not discussed. That's exactly the problem, Tom replies. He shows similar patterns for every council species. The crystalline being's environmental collapses happen when specific atmospheric readings are reached. Readings their scientists detect but dismiss, because they have no historical context to understand. Warning signs. The Gorpian resource wars begin with identical political rhetoric. But since previous instances aren't remembered, the warning signs are never recognized. Tom then shows human history, not the sanitized version, but the raw truth. The slave ships, the concentration camps, the atomic bombs, the environmental destruction. The council members are visibly uncomfortable. This is exactly what we mean, Commander Blue interjects. Why burden your children with this darkness? Tom pauses, then shows the next slide, a graph of human progress. Because our children asked questions. They asked, how could our grandparents allow this? And in answering, we built systems to prevent it. He shows how remembering slavery led to civil rights movements, how remembering the Holocaust led to international laws and institutions, how remembering environmental disasters led to conservation efforts. We don't remember to punish ourselves, Tom explains. We remember to honor the victims by ensuring they didn't suffer for nothing. Elder Vex challenges, but doesn't this memory create guilt? Pain? Tom nods. Yes, and that pain motivates us to be better. The presentation continues with comparative analysis. Species that remember show consistent improvement over time, while species that forget remain trapped in cycles. But Tom can see he's still not reaching them. These beings don't understand pain as a motivator. They see it only as something to be eliminated. Elder Vex stands up abruptly. This discussion is painful. We should adjourn and forget this disagreement. Tom realizes this is his moment. Elder Vex, what was your son's name? The reptilian freezes. My son died in the plague. Why do you ask? What was his name? We don't speak of the dead. It brings pain. Tom's voice becomes gentle but firm. Your son lived. He had dreams, hopes, favorite foods, jokes he liked to tell. By forgetting him, you didn't eliminate your pain. You eliminated him. Elder Vex's hands tremble. It hurts to remember. Yes, Tom says quietly. And humans believe that hurt is the price we pay to keep our loved ones alive in more than just memory. The hurt proves they mattered. Commander Blue's crystalline form flickers with different colors. Tom has learned this indicates emotional distress. But the plague victims, there were so many, which is exactly why they should be remembered, Tom responds. In human culture, we say never forget not as a curse, but as a promise that their suffering meant something, that we learned from it. Tom shows images from human memorial sites, the Vietnam Wall, Holocaust museums, slavery monuments. These aren't shrines to pain. They're promises to the dead that we won't let their deaths be meaningless. Trade Minister Gorp's compound eyes focus intently. Your memorial practices, they're not about dwelling in the past. They're about carrying the past with us as we build the future, Tom explains. Every memorial is also a commitment. Every remembrance is also a resolution. Tom pulls up the data again, but frames it differently. Look at the timeline. Humans aren't stuck in the past. We're using the past to build a better future. Our progress accelerates specifically because we remember what went wrong. He shows how human technological advancement has followed not a steady curve, but dramatic improvements after learning from disasters. The space program advanced rapidly after Apollo 1. Medical ethics improved after medical experiments were exposed. Environmental protection strengthened after ecological disasters. We never got over it, Tom says, because getting over it means forgetting the lessons written in blood and tears. Elder Vex sits heavily. Your species, you carry the pain. Of others, we carry the responsibility to others, Tom corrects. Past, present, and future. The council chamber falls silent for a long moment. Tom can see the aliens processing concepts that challenge their fundamental worldview. Commander Blue speaks first, his crystalline form shifting through colors Tom has never seen. In our last great collapse, my grandfather was among the millions who died. I don't even remember his name. Elder Vex's voice is barely a whisper. My son's name was Klex. He was training to be a healer when the plague came. Trade Minister. Gorp's antennae twitch rapidly, a sign of deep thought in her species. If we had remembered our previous resource wars, the latest one might never have happened. 3 billion dead because we repeated the same mistakes. Tom remains quiet, letting the weight of realization settle. Elder Vex looks up, his reptilian features showing something Tom has never seen in an alien face before, what humans might call grief mixed with hope. You said your memorials are promises. What promise do you make? Tom stands, that every person who suffered to teach us these lessons will not have suffered in vain, that we will build a future worthy of their sacrifice, that we will be better ancestors than we were descendants. Commander Blue flickers bright white, excitement in his species. Your rapid advancement, it's not despite carrying this burden, but because of it? Pain can be a teacher, Tom says, if we let it teach, instead of trying to silence it. The council members exchange looks, a complex nonverbal communication that Tom has learned indicates they're reaching consensus. Trade Minister Gorp speaks for the group. We have spent millennia trying to achieve what you call moving on. Perhaps it is time we learned what you call moving forward. Elder Vex nods slowly. The inner circle requires wisdom, not just advancement. We see now that true wisdom means remembering not just our achievements, but our failures. Tom feels the weight of his species' future in this moment. Commander Blue makes the formal announcement. The Galactic Council votes unanimously to welcome humanity to the inner circle, not despite your species' refusal to forget, but because of it. As the session concludes, Elder Vex approaches Tom privately. Will you help us build memorials? We have much to remember. Tom nods. We have a saying. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. But we also believe those who remember the past are empowered to transcend it. As Tom leaves the chambers, he looks out at the galaxy beyond, billions of beings who might finally learn that healing doesn't come from forgetting, but from remembering with purpose. The stars seem brighter somehow, as if lit by the promise of species, finally ready to learn from their pain rather than hide from it. Tom's final log entry reads, Today the galaxy learned a human truth. We never got over it because getting over it was never the point. The point was getting through it together, stronger than before. The universe has just become a place where memory serves hope, where pain teaches wisdom, and where the dead are honored not by silence, but by the better world their memory helps create.